It all starts with the count of 3. Whether it's a roll race, a dig race, or just the green light at your local drag strip, the feeling of acceleration is exhilarating. But what is even more exhilarating is when you add another car to the mix. The feeling of racing in any form is a natural crave to compete with others. I mean, shoot, that's why things like the Olympic Games exist in the first place. Now, before we get started, this film does not condone any type of street racing, nor any other illegal activities that involve automobiles. But we are going to open the door to conversation about the issue and also analyze car culture in general as a whole. So fasten your seatbelt, it's going to be quite the ride. Chapter 1. Street Racing. Street racing by definition is the illegal form of motor racing that occurs on public streets. So the streets that you and I use to get to work, travel on, and so on and so forth. There are several different types of street racing, like sprints, which are things like bull run or cannonball, that are point-to-point races over long distances. There are also organized dig races, which are much more like something you would see at a local drag strip out on public roads. 2 cars go from a dig, which means from a dead stop. And last but not least, now the most popular form of street racing, roll racing. What is roll racing? No, it has nothing to do with the butter rolls from your local Golden Corral. It is exactly what it sounds like. 2 cars line up next to each other at a certain speed, they count to 3, and they go. Roll racing takes a lot more driver error out of the equation and sees what the actual car can do once it's up to speed. A lot of the time, starting at different speeds can have different results. So if somebody asks for a 40 roll, they are asking to start from 40 miles an hour. Pretty simple, right? Other than having that smooth start, one of the biggest appeals of it is that it is much easier on the car, therefore it doesn't break stuff as often. Starting from a dig or a dead stop really puts a ton of stress on the car, especially on the rear end. Street racing versus the track. So I now know that most of you are probably wondering, if you can do all this at your local track, then why even risk losing your license or going to jail? I mean, shoot, even one of my first conversations with one of my car friends was telling me that he had been to jail for street racing. Oh, blood, sweat, and gears. Oh, how times have changed. Early YouTube days, good times. But one of the biggest one overall is, drum roll please, convenience? Well, yeah, street racing is extremely convenient. It's nearby, it's cheap, and if nobody's around, you don't really seem to be bothering anybody. It's roads you usually know in your area. Going to the track is usually, well, a hassle. Well, let me explain. There are 2 tracks near where I am from. Both are about an hour away. Now, if the car I wanted to race wasn't a daily driver / isn't very reliable, it was only a fun car, then I'd probably have to buy a truck and trailer to get it there, versus driving it down the street. I also would need to pay the entry fee, which at a drag strip in America isn't too shabby. It's usually between 17 and 20 bucks. But of course that adds up over time. Other tracks such as circuit tracks though, you aren't so lucky. Many circuits you have to pay hundreds of dollars even for a track day. Then you have to remember to say goodbye to your brakes and probably your tires in that session. Driving fast no matter what the setting is expensive. You know what? Let me just say that this hobby in general is expensive, so that might not be a completely valid argument.
More than you can afford, pal.
Seeing why people street race shouldn't be that much of a shocker. If you have 2 fast cars in a parking lot and you want to quickly see which one's faster, it's not uncommon for people to drive a little bit, do a 10-second pull, and be done. Is it right? No, but it happens. Car people can be extremely indecisive and also impatient. We constantly change the setup of our cars. We are always on to the next thing. Ask a car person where they want to go eat and you'll get the I don't care, somewhere cheap to save money for car parts. Instead of waiting another week or 2 or even a whole winter season to see which car is faster at a track, people jump the gun and take it into their own hands. Want to see if that little Honda can take on a 630 horsepower Camaro? Hop on the highway at 1 in the morning really quick. Done. But it can also be done extremely unsafe like this moment here. Those are the moments that people see and associate all street racing with. Crashing, weaving through traffic, downshifting every 2 seconds just to make noise. That is what street racers look like. And unfortunately, it's true on many levels. So do I think street racing should be illegal? Well, yeah, it's kind of obvious the dangers it makes to public and non-car people alike. But it's easy to see why people do it. There's plenty of stories from places around the United States where people get let go by police without a slap on the wrist while they were caught street racing, all because of their situational awareness. There was nobody around, nobody to endanger but themselves. They had personal responsibility, usually in the late hours of the night and early morning. But when you're doing those kind of things in broad daylight near the average Joe, now those are the people that deserve to be charged. In a world where DUI and texting is much more of a common fatality in a car than street racing, it kind of brings you into perspective. Personal responsibility is a huge factor. Besides, how does a typical night of street racing go? Well, usually you meet up somewhere with friends or the cars you are interested in. You discuss who will be racing, where to go, what speed, from a dig, and other factors. However, you will always get kicked out by the police. So what happened, Josh?
Car got shut down.
That never happens. Then you go to your first spot and see if it's clear. And of course, it's not. So then you will meet up again. Find another spot. Repeat. Eventually you'll find a spot and you'll get a few runs in and get out of there before disturbing anybody. But then you realize, is this really the convenient way to do it? Nope, not worth it.